Generally, people sleep with someone of their own race. They sleep with someone of their own religion, roughly the same age. They generally go after healthy people. They generally go after attractive people. And so every single dimension of discrimination that you can possibly imagine governs sexual choice. If you completely eradicate the justification for discrimination, which I would also say is the same justification for freedom of association, you also blow out the element of sexual choice. Now, the question I wanted to ask you is, considering you as a potential sexual partner is going to be distressing to the majority of people, is that acceptable?
Yes.
Why?
Because I'm an anomaly. It's just not something people are comfortable with. The fact that I was born a different way than I am now, even if they are attracted to me. It makes my dating life a bit harder and more complicated. But
definitely.
I mean, I'm a huge proponent of discrimination. I think that's 100% within people's rights. I would never call someone transphobic because they don't want to sleep with me because I was born one way and don't. That's their preference. That's their prerogative. It's 100% people's right to discriminate.
So do you think that there's any ways, obviously you've thought this through a lot, like the part of the problem here is that distinguishing that from forbidden forms of discrimination is very, very difficult conceptually. Like, it's not obvious why it's okay to discriminate against someone sexually. This happened in Brave New World, in Huxley's novel, where any form of sexual discrimination was regarded as socially inappropriate, such that if someone asked you to have sex with them, it was your moral obligation not only to do it, but to be happy about it. The basic hypothesis was, or the basic slogan was, everyone belongs to everyone else. That's the final limit of the absence of discrimination. So, but why do you think that discrimination of that sort is okay?
I believe in equality and lack of discrimination, equal treatment under the law. That is kind of where it ends for me.
Right.
Very much free market in my thinking.
Well, that free market example is an interesting one, because maybe the reason that it's okay for other people to discriminate is because we want to retain the right for ourselves to discriminate. Because maybe it's something like you're willing to have people reject you as a potential sexual partner as long as you're also allowed the privilege to reject other people as potential sexual partners.
Take the example, the whole transgender people in washrooms thing. I believed when that was going on, it's kind of died down now, but I believe when that was going on, that the state shouldn't be saying trans people aren't allowed in the washroom of their choosing or shouldn't. I was like, that's up to the business owners to make that decision. If there's a business down the road, a restaurant that wouldn't let me, use the washroom, the female washroom, so be it. I'll just go to a different restaurant, and that's what I'm very free market thinking, and I think discrimination is something that the right to discriminate is something that needs to be protected at all costs.
Well, it certainly seems to have to be protected to some degree. Like, I think the sexual choice conundrum, I mean, there are horrors on both sides of it, right? The first horror is, well, if you obliterate sexual discrimination, then you have to allow yourself to be the sexual target of whoever, whenever. That seems like a pretty bad solution. And it's certainly not one that I think particularly women would rapidly accept.
And that's such an assault on individual's agency.
Right. It's the ultimate assault on an individual's agency. But the problem is to maintain that right to choice is to also maintain the right to discriminate. And then putting the boundaries on what you're allowed to discriminate against is very, very tricky. Like, I think we've gone far too far in the anti-discrimination direction.